Welcome to Gamer's Games. I'm Gamer, and these are my games. Tune in and see this week's new video. Thanks. Good afternoon. So it has been a rainy, just nasty day here in southeast Oklahoma. Got up this morning, it was already thundering and lightning and raining, and I wasn't going to go anywhere. Andy, he texted me, he's like, hey, let's go, last night. And I was like, rain, man, we'll see. So there was a little bit of a break in the rain. I was like, you know what, even if garage sales aren't going on, let's go to a couple of thrift stores, whatnot. So that's what we did. Went and picked him up right before 8. Drove out to a couple. Even with the rain, very few vendors were showing up. I guess everybody's gonna melt. I don't know. So we sure didn't. We was out there till about noon. So 4 hours almost. And even for the limited places to go due to the weather, man, there was so much good stuff that we found, and at a couple of different places. One place I'd been to once and Andy had never been to, probably the best score. So that video I'll be filming tomorrow. Hopefully I can get with him and we'll see how we do. But today we're talking about finds at work. So we've talked about one before, how you talk to people at work and just say, hey, I'm interested in games. What you got in your attic, your closet, whatnot. Well, when I had mentioned that to everybody the first time, way back, my boss, my supervisor, said, I've got some stuff in a box somewhere in my garage, my storage shed. I'm not even sure. I said, okay, that's cool. If you need help looking for it, I'm more than happy to help. I said, but if you happen to go through it and find it, I'll be willing to pay you cash, trade stuff if you want to trade. We can work it out some way, shape, form, or fashion. He's like, okay, cool. I will dig it out when it's not so hot. Well, it was really hot this last week and he dug it out anyway. So he brought me one of those huge totes. Yeah, let's look at it on a video. No, it's a small tote, probably the smallest one Walmart sells that's decent, normally like $6. He brought me one of those and it was plumb full of, I've got CDs behind the camera here. I'm not going to show every CD. Oh, excuse me. There was like 64 CDs. Now, some of the cases didn't have them, so I just rounded down to 60. There was like 15 movies, which should be one in this, I believe. A Gamecube with memory card, first-party controller, and then this stack of games. The Gamecube, it's just a black one. It's nothing fancy. In fact, I haven't even had a chance to test it yet. So I went ahead and based it off of that it did work, because he said his daughter used to play it, and lo and behold, they put it up when they moved. I said, that's fine. I'll take that chance. If nothing else, Andy can help me clean it, make it work, I'm sure. Plus, and he's a good guy. I mean, I got a good enough deal on everything else that even if it doesn't work, I'm not going to be upset. So let's start with PC games. Now, I know that's a far cry from what we normally talk about here, and by no means am I branching out to PC games, but he had quite a few, some of them from the late 90s, early 2000s that were pretty good games at the time, and probably still are to some people. So first thing, StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. It's the guidebook. Man, it's one of the good guidebooks from Brady Games. That game wasn't in here. He did say that he has a second box, so we will be doing a part 2 once that comes, but it probably won't be till after the fall when it gets really cool, because he said he's got a lot of stuff to go through. Like Bowling USA, Red Alert from Command and Conquer, Axis and Allies, There was another one of those. Now there's StarCraft, and then StarCraft Expansion War, or expansion set, Brood War. Now, of course, so far, Axis and Allies is the only one without a cover art. Here's Dungeons and Dragons Online Stormreach. And like I say, I'm not a big PC gamer fan. I used to have one back, I guess, about 04, and I played 1 or 2 games, and that was about it. Caesar 3. That one doesn't have anything. Now, here's old school WoW. You know, that's 5 discs and everything in there. So, stoked about that. Yeah. Everybody else is playing God knows which one now, but I got the OG. EverQuest 2. Now, I do like the look of this. You know, how it looks like a cool game. But I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna go get a PC, build it, you know, to handle all these online games and then never play it because I play my Xbox more. So here's another EverQuest. It's Lost Dungeons of Norath. So there's the front cover. And then inside it, if I can not drop it, is a nice little picture. I like that. I mean, very much like Lord of the Rings, you know, that kind of a world, you know, trolls. Well, this one's got tiger people. That's kind of cool. It's something Lord of the Rings doesn't have, but it's... PC gaming is a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Here's World of Warcraft. No, I'm sorry, Warhammer Online. I'm looking at World of Warcraft. This is Wrath of the Lich King. The Warhammer Age of Reckoning, man, those little figures from Warhammer 40K are kind of like the Disney Infinity figures I have up here. If I come across them cheap, I'd probably pick them up. I'm not going to go out and buy them. I had an idea, man, years ago now, probably 5-6 years ago now almost, to go buy a couple of the big sets of the just basic guys and make a chessboard and paint them all up, you know, each side accordingly to a chess set. And then go ahead and find some really nice, you know, figures for the rook, the knight, the bishop, king, the queen. And I started looking at prices, and that deterred me instantly. So moving on, we've got the Battle for Middle-earth 2. Of course, Lord of the Rings with that one. And then I checked all these. They all have their discs. Like EverQuest is 5 or 6 discs. Original WoW is 5 or 6. EverQuest is actually more than 5 or 6. This one, Battle for Middle-earth, is 6. I checked it out. And then Battle for Middle-earth expansion pack, Rise of the Witch King. Now, you could tell that it set out somewhere and got some moisture on it. But luckily, it did not on the book with the code that's back there. So, that's always good. That's, I told him, I said, man, most PC games don't hold a lot. Lord of the Rings ones are pretty good. But, I'm probably just going to sell them. You know, I'll put the Lord of the Rings together, put the WoW together, the EverQuest, StarCraft, whatever I can. You know, kind of find that, you know, right fitment for what people want. So, now that you've stood the test of time talking about PC games, you know, sometimes it's just, you got to do what you don't want to do. So, let's go. Oh, I knew there was another Axis and Allies. So, another one. Now we're done with PC games. Yeah, promise. So, he had some Gamecube stuff, obviously. Got the system, controller, cords, off-brand 16 megabyte memory card. This is probably the best pickup I've ever had, present day, from an individual. Just because I've got Metal Marines for my Super Nintendo. It's a $130 game currently, whatever. I got it at a game store for $80 a year and a half ago almost. So, first things first, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. It is the case only, unfortunately. It does have the inserts, but no book. He said, "Hey, I found this. What do you think?" I was like, "Throw it in there." The book alone goes for like $10, $12, something like that. But Pokemon's always hot. Has been for at least the past few months. A year, 5 years, 25 years. Who knows? At least for somebody for 25 years, right? And then there was an empty DS case, nothing fancy. He said, his exact words were, he bought a bunch of stuff for DS. His daughter played handhelds. They more than likely kept all the cases and just put them in a box. So hopefully they've got some more Pokemon cases, maybe even some Pokemon games coming whenever they find the other box. So there is a movie. It's Pokemon Ranger in the Temple of the Sea. This is the best movie in there. It's Pokemon. Kind of fits with today's stuff there with that DS game. Bratz Diamonds. It is complete. And I'm sorry, Bratz Forever Diamonds. I can't read apparently. And at some time, I guess they paid $17.99 at GameStop, because it is that company that I absolutely despise, because they put those stickers all over these nice cases. Madagascar. It is just a case. It's actually just artwork, because that case is not a GameCube case. So that's all right. I mean, I checked the system first thing, thinking maybe another game. No. But then I dug to the bottom of the box and I found this. Hold your applause, because it's missing the manual. But it is still a phenomenal game. He said they had Pokemon Colosseum, which is the, I guess, game before this, the prequel before it. And I'm hoping it is in that other box, because I don't have any. I can't even talk. I'm so excited about this. I have very few GameCube games. But good games that will actually get me to playing my GameCube more, I don't have any. When I had the GameCube initially, I want to say I played Need for Speed, Underground 2 probably, more than anything. I didn't ever play Pokemon stuff, but with this, I don't have to go out and buy it. I've already bought it, essentially. If he can find Colosseum, I can play it, then play this, and then I can put it back on my shelf in a really nice case like what I have for all my boxed NES games, so that way I don't mess it up. It doesn't get any kind of damage on it or anything. I don't even want dust on it. But I got all this. This is amazing. And then 60 CDs, 10 more movies or so, and a GameCube system for $150. So that's what we agreed on. And of course, this is a little over $100 anyway. Disc only, not counting the manual, maybe being a little more. Excuse me. I'm still in shock. I would never go out and buy this game. I got hiccups. That's all I need while I'm trying to make a video, right? So I would never go out to a game store or anything and buy this for what they go complete. which is how I buy most, especially PS2 games, but most games, if I can, other than cartridge stuff, is I want complete. So I'm sure not going to go spend $180 to $200 for a complete one on eBay. I'm not going to hit up a retro venue and say, hey, I want to buy this for what you're asking at 150 to 200 or whatever. To find it, what I would consider out in the wild, so to say. I did the legwork. I asked. I was diligent. I started working there about 3.5 months ago, and we talked about it the first 2 weeks. And then after that, I was like, hey, do you need some help? I can help you. What do you need? So I'm super excited to pick this up, and hopefully I can find a book for it reasonable. I don't want to spend what everybody's charging on eBay. I'd found a case with a manual for like $40, I think, and I watched it, and within however long, it sold. I think it said the seller was away, and then they sold it anyway. Whatever. But I don't remember. But this was the best deal of the day. But we're not done. Yeah. I forgot 3 games. I know. These 3 games should not have been forgotten. These are the 3 older games even. So, Killer Instinct Gold. I'm upset with myself having talked about it as if I was wrapping up the video. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I'll try and not let it happen again. Battle Tanks Global Assault. Now, of course, the first 2 here, those are the big ones that I remember. I don't remember Battle Tanks myself. And up until, last year, there was a guy down in Dallas that drove up, or somewhere there around Dallas, drove up and bought $800 worth of games. Well, it was double that or more. It was more like $1,600, $1,700, $1,800, and he bought $800 from me worth of games. He paid me $800 for a whole bunch, and Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Killer Instinct Gold were both in there. So I was like, man, I'm so excited to get these back. These did kind of take a back burner, especially in the video, if you couldn't tell, to the Pokemon XD. Excited to get that one just because, A, it's a big value game that I would have never went out and bought. These, especially Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, I would have went out and bought. But got those 3 as well. They were still part of that $150 price. With just talking to your coworkers, your friends, your neighbors even. I've got 30 neighbors here. I don't talk to any of them hardly, but if I did, maybe somebody's got something out in their attic or something like that. So definitely spread that word in your neighborhood or whatnot and say, hey, I'm looking. Or maybe you don't collect and you just stumbled upon my video, and you should still put out that word and be like, hey, I've got this. Get it to a collector that's going to clean it up, put it on a shelf and at least admire it. That's what I do with a lot of my games. In all that I've gotten back up to 200 Nintendo games almost, or like I said in the last video or so, 814 individual PS2 games. That's almost half of the US releases. I never thought I'd get there. Ooh, it is getting late, and I'm going to have to end this video after 20 minutes. Oh my gosh. Sorry for the long video. Next one won't be this bad. Y'all have a good day.